So, a couple of weeks ago, I beat Jak 2 with only the scattergun, and a lot of people wanted to see me do it with the other Jak games. So, we're back with the scattergun only challenge. Jak 3 will have to wait a little bit as my setup hates that game. Open goal, please don't take too much longer. So instead of playing the big Jak game, I'm playing the terrible PSP one, because that's exactly what you all subscribed for. Can you beat Jak and Daxter, The Lost Frontier, using only the scattergun? Now, don't worry, we have a lot of cool stuff in this video that I'm 100% sure you've never seen before. But before we get back into that, the rules. These will be identical to our Jak 2 scattergun run. Obviously, the only gun we can use is the scattergun, but this time I'm taking it a step further. We aren't even going to collect the other guns. You'll see soon enough. We will not under any circumstances be allowed to punch or kick an enemy or crate. However, we will be allowed to use these moves for traversal. If we accidentally hit something, however, we need to reload the save file. We will be allowing all eco powers, but I'm going to restrain myself with the amplifier power because, come on. Lost Frontier introduces two other gameplay styles, the Jak Daxter missions, which there are only 3 of, and the plane missions. Unfortunately, due to the nature of these missions, we can't impose the rules on these. But don't worry, we still have 70% of the game under the challenge. So, just to sum up, we can only defeat enemies with the scattergun, we can only use melee options for traversal, and we can use eco powers. By the way, we'll be playing the PS2 version of this game for the better visuals and controls. Get ready for seemingly the first challenge run of Jak and Daxter: The Lost Frontier on YouTube. Jak, Daxter and Kira are travelling to the edges of the planet in the hopes of finding more eco, as the planet's apparently running out of it. We find that this area is home to eco pirates, and when we get raided in classic Daxter fashion, he saves us by shooting down the plane.
Those crazy pirates must have shot us! Yeah, that's what happened.
Luckily crash landing on Brink Island. This is the tutorial level, and as in this game we aren't in hero mode because I really didn't want to play the game twice. We don't start with the scattergun, meaning that we will be playing pacifist until we get it. This tower thing here needs to be pushed over, but the enemies will continue attacking us, cancelling the action. Luckily, we can just jump to the next platform anyway. We then find an eco crystal, but we aren't able to actually collect it without defeating all the enemies, and we need this crystal to beat the mission. So, unfortunately, I can't even say this with a straight face. Who says we need to beat the mission? If we jump just over this broken bridge here, we can reach a door blocked by a massive rock. We cannot destroy this rock, but if we go just slightly to the left and line up like this, just keep punching and Jak will climb up this wall and defy all laws of physics. Once we get enough height, jump here. This wall isn't solid, don't go too far as there is a death plane, but if you've done it just right, you'll be stuck inside the wall like this. To get out, we want to jump to the left of this pole, and you should clip back into bounds. Enter this area and you'll find yourself in the second visit of this level with a new indicator on the minimap. Save and reload. You are now at the beginning of the second visit to Brink Island, and right in front of you is the scattergun. Picking this up will reveal that we don't even have the blaster. This skips 2 plane missions, a Jak Daxter level, and the danger course, where we would need to use the blaster constantly. But with this skip, we have bypassed all of that. A huge shout out to the Lost Frontier superstar Headstrong1290. She has the world record for all the categories in this game, and this run wouldn't be possible without this skip that I only found in her world record. So make sure you check her out, she's pretty cool. But back to the challenge. Now that we have the scattergun, we can actually defeat enemies. This is not a Jak 2 scenario where the scattergun is actually very good. This gun doesn't knock enemies back and deals next to no damage, as I'm restricting the use of the amplifier eco power. Speaking of the amplifier, we get it, and we use it to destroy a few boulders in our way. Enemies in this game drop dark eco. This is is used as a currency to upgrade Jak. We can upgrade the eco powers, Jak's different attacks, and his health. The health and eco powers are the only upgrades of any note. Ammo management is by far the biggest problem in this challenge. We only have 30 scattergun shots, unlike Jak 2's scattergun that was not only a lot better, but also had a base of 50 shots that could be upgraded to 100. After a few more waves of enemies and running from falling trees, we meet the old man who can fix our plane, but we need a power box, and the only one on the island is inside the toughest robot on the island. We get another eco power. This one will allow us to create crystal platforms. Now, this one boss is the reason I couldn't simply ban the amplifier on enemies. We need to use it a couple of times to destroy his armor. We can't damage him at all until that armor is gone. Once it's off though, the scattergun will damage him. And this boss only has like 2 different attacks. With one final scripted amplifier, the robot goes down, and we can go and save Kira. We need to neutralize the Phantom Blade. This is our first plane mission. We need to destroy the propellers, thrusters, and all 8 turrets. The planes are kinda cool, as you can customize them to your exact playstyle. In a first playthrough, there are 5 different planes for you to choose from. The Hellcat, the pirate plane, the bomber, the good one, and the gunship. These will be unlocked as we continue the story, and for now we're stuck with the Hellcat. We find Kira and head of the pirates, Phoenix, whom we met earlier, and they are pretty chummy now, which creates another petty love triangle plot, which is my favourite part of Jak 2. This results in Jak and Phoenix accidentally tossing the Eco Seeker. Oh shoot, we skipped that section entirely. We get the Eco Seeker in one of those opening missions we skipped that'll help us track down the last of the light Eco to help fix the world, so pretty important that we get that back. But before embarking, we've got 2 things to do. First, we can talk to Kira and exchange our Dark Eco for upgrades. You can really get whatever you want, however I am going to advise against red upgrades, as these mostly upgrade Jak's physical attacks and the amplifier, 2 things we aren't exactly using. And I'm going to outright tell you not to upgrade yellow either, as the first upgrade gives Jak an Eco Punch thing just like in Jak 1, and this is counted as an attack, and once it's unlocked you cannot turn this off. So nah. That simply leaves blue and green. Green is easy to explain. It gives you more health points and increases the healing potency of health pickups. Blue kinda helps most eco powers, allowing for faster recharges and stuff like that. The final thing to talk about is plane upgrades. You will have collected a bit of scrap metal from that last mission. This is what it's used for. You can upgrade every weapon and mod for the plane, so make sure to keep coming back here whenever you're on the Phantom Blade. We return to Brink Island one final time to get the Seeker back. We get another eco power, this one allowing us to kinda get a boosted jump with yellow eco. Phoenix is here and wants a little race to get that Seeker. Don't worry though, this is a 100% scripted sequence. Phoenix will never actually get the Seeker before you, meaning that you can take all the time you need defeating the enemies, as we will want as many of those Dark Eco upgrades as we can get our paws on. We will need to explore these levels to their full extent. Sometimes you'll find precursor orbs which are kinda useless for this challenge, but other times you'll find missable weapon upgrades, like this one that gives us more scattergun ammo. Absolutely make sure you pick that one up. Honestly, the rest of the volcano isn't so bad. There's plenty of ammo pickups, so make sure to blow them open with the scattergun. We then find the Eco Seeker and get out of there. The old man sneaks aboard our plane, but that's actually good news, as he can actually unlock the device. It seems to be pointing towards a small pocket of light eco, which it uses as a power source. But Phoenix insists on getting supplies from Far Drop first, to prepare for the long voyage. We reach Far Drop, but it's under attack from Dark Eco monsters, and in exchange for supplies, we need to defeat all of them. We've basically got to chase this big Dark Eco monster all over Far Drop and defeat all the smaller ones in the way. All these missions are timed. If this indicator reaches 0, we mission fail and we get reset to a checkpoint. Luckily, if we get the attention of these monsters, they will stop destroying the monuments, pausing the timer. We luckily get a new eco eco power that is very useful. This one allows us to slow down time. It's mostly used to cross super fast platforms, but it also works on enemies too. Ammo is going to be our biggest issue here. There aren't many ammo crates, and most of those crates will drop Vulcan Fury ammo. There are a few in the main hub area that have scattergun ammo, and we're going to exploit that. Destroy the crates and collect the ammo, then immediately jump to your demise. Your ammo will be saved and the crates will spawn back in, allowing you to get back to max ammo very effectively after dealing with each group of Dark Eco monsters. After a few waves of this, we corner the head Dark Eco monster who gives the statue a big hug. We need to defeat him. This boss only has a few attacks as well, and they're all mostly pretty easy to dodge, especially with the slowdown eco power. But we do need to keep our distance or he will give Jak one of those awful hugs. After beating him, we speak to the guy, who tells us he's loaded up the plane. But we have a very big problem. We need to complete this bar brawl, and we can't use our weapons in this. The AI looked like they were dealing damage to each other, but I can assure you they are not. So we're going to have to call this specific mission impossible, and we will keep track of the missions we cannot do up here. After finishing the brawl, we get all the supplies we need. In appreciation for our abilities, Phoenix allows us to be the helmsman of the crew and makes us honorary pirates, and we head to where the Eco Seeker is pointing. We find an old facility which is supposedly where the last of the light eco is located. This place is filled with Dark Eco monsters. These enemies are pretty tough, requiring a good 5 shots to take down. While the scattergun might not feel like a shotgun, it is one. We can min-max a little bit by attacking multiple enemies at once. We get yet another new eco power here, with this one being the most situational. It allows us to teleport to specific idle things. This is exclusively used in puzzles and has no real application elsewhere. Jak finds a familiar sight. It seems someone out here was experimenting with Dark Eco warriors, which explains why we found so many Dark Eco mutants in this part of the world. We also need to explore the caves around the facility, which is home to these spider enemies, which are pretty tough, but luckily these are some of the few enemies in this game that we can kind of stagger, which is very lucky because as soon as Kira begins trying to extract the light eco, we need to fight wave after wave of enemies. Luckily there is a lot of ammo in this arena, so this shouldn't be too tough. Just make sure you don't let any of the enemies sneak up behind you. Kira collects the light eco and we need to leave. But Daxter decides he wants some candy before getting stuffed into a cell and being drowned in Dark Eco, beginning our first Dark Daxter mission as we skip the one in Europa. I'm not even sure how to describe this gameplay style. I guess a light beat 'em up with puzzle elements. This game is so weird that these sections only last about 15 minutes tops, just short enough for me to keep my sanity in check. Daxter turns back to normal and we finally unlock the only good plane, this jet fighter. It's not only insanely fast, but has lots of weapon slots, making it the best plane in literally every situation. There is legitimately no reason to be using anything other than this one. With the sourced light eco, the Eco Seeker is still not working properly, as it's missing 3 pieces. One in Far Drop, one in some old European barracks, and the last of which is at Sector 0, the edge of the world. We return to Far Drop to collect a precursor artifact from this pirate, and we strike up a deal. If we can beat her in a fight, we get the Eco Seeker part. If she beats us, she gets Daxter.
I get the orange runt as a fur coat.
That's right, he's gonna kick you out. Wait a minute.
Deal.
No!
Unfortunately, this is the only other mission in this game that we cannot beat with the scattergun, as again, we cannot use weapons in this bar. So we'll just add it to the counter and I won't waste any more of your time. There's another part of the Eco Seeker deep in some abandoned European barracks. The door is locked, but it seems the old man knows his way around. We also get the final eco power here, the Eco Shield. This can help us cross insta-kill hazards like these pools of Dark Eco. This level introduces us to the faction of enemies we'll be fighting for the rest of the game, these Dark Eco warriors. There are 3 types: the wolf type enemies, who are just stronger versions of the enemies from the Brink Island level, the warriors, which have high attack but low defense, at this point taking 4 to 5 shots to defeat, and these battle mage type enemies. These guys have insane defense, can teleport, and can resurrect all fallen warriors, so they're pretty tough. On top of that, all these enemies have close range and long range attacks, making all of these enemies insanely unbalanced. Ammo is by far the biggest issue in this level, but just like Far Drop, there are crates that will respawn when you die. Keep backtracking to this point and restock if you run out. The final room is definitely a struggle. It's got countless warriors and one of those battle mages. Take out the smaller enemies first so that you can focus exclusively on the mage. Feel free to use the time slow eco power to try to maximize the time you get before those warriors reanimate. This was definitely tough, but we did it in the end. It's then revealed that the old man was in fact behind the Dark Warrior program out here, and he did all this for Phoenix when he was head of the European Air Force. Once he figured out what was happening, Phoenix kidnapped the old man and marooned him on Brink Island. You can tell Daxter couldn't give a damn about this story either. Skyheat has apparently infected all his people with Dark Eco to transform all of them into the very warriors we've just been fighting. In his attempt to do something, it's not really ever made clear why he's doing all these things, but he's doing them, so oh well. But Jak holds the key to curing these people, as he can manage his eco powers. Daxter believes he can help too, but no.
What about me?
No, you're a certified crazy monster.
It's now time for everyone's favourite worst mission, defending the Phantom Blade from these missiles. This is going to be a very hot take from me, but honestly, this is the only plane mission in the game that's any good at all. It's really not as bad as anyone says it is, if you've been upgrading your plane's weapons, that is. We've got to destroy some turrets, and then do the Daxter minigame to take control of the missile, and fly it back to one of the 3 turrets, and just do that 2 more times. It's honestly not too much trouble, and for me it only lasted about 8 minutes. It's still not very fun, but it's definitely the best plane mission in the game. We've picked up the signal of the final piece of the Eco Seeker, and it's at the end of this vortex thing. Why is this even here? A better question, why does this section take upwards of 15 minutes? I'm not doing anything here. Genuinely, it's so boring. Just dodge the debris and take out the enemies for 15 minutes and it's over. After collecting the artifact, we have a problem. Skyheat and his warship, the Behemoth, not that one, has arrived to do something. Essentially, we've got to defend the Phantom Blade. This is just a little back and forth, destroying Dark Eco bombs and taking out the Dark Eco crystals on the Behemoth. Are these a reference to the same ones we take out in Spider Caves in Jak 1? Anyways, we take out the Behemoth's Dark Eco weapons, but Skyheat isn't done just yet. We need to mount a defense on the Phantom Blade itself, defeating enemies that jump aboard and destroying the turrets. This is remarkably quite easy. We can just use the turrets to defeat the enemies. On top of that, there's plenty of health in the crates, so dying shouldn't be too much of a concern. Now that we have the completed Eco Seeker, it will now point us towards the Eco Core, and it seems to be pointing back towards that old research rig. We need to recover the Eco Core, but it seems Skyheat has his army in already. We need to take out that force field around the facility, which is pretty easy to do. Just take out the warships and then take out the force field things. Jak, Daxter, Kira and Phoenix reach the Eco Core, and it would seem that Phoenix's first mate has actually captured Skyheat, only for it to be revealed that the nameless goon has swapped sides. Why should I care about this development? Does this guy actually have a name? Hold on. Clout? Well, I'll be damned. It doesn't really matter. As soon as I realise Clout has a name, he dies, and we make our escape. But this does mean that Skyheat now has unrestricted access to the Eco Core, and with his new power source, he can spread Dark Eco all over the Brink, starting with an assault on Far Drop, which we find out about courtesy of a secret transmission. We arrive at Far Drop to see the place in ruins. Skyheat has launched an all-out war, and we've got to destroy the warship. All the enemies from this point onwards are gonna be insanely strong, but there's a fun way around this. We can use the Eco Shield in combat. This will negate a few attacks and let us shoot the scattergun, essentially giving us a major advantage in every single battle. battle. Be careful as you can't spam this strat too much, as the eco power still needs to recharge afterwards. If enemies are giving you a lot of trouble, you can pair this shield with the slowdown power for a real advantage. We explore Far Drop and take out all the squads. We even get to play as Daxter in these Super Monkey Ball type levels. I'd love to make a challenge on those games. We then defeat what remains of the army and sink their battleship. As we get ready to leave Far Drop, the behemoth comes in ready for one final attack, and so we've got to destroy its Dark Eco reserves. This is also as easy as the fight in Sector 0, the only difference is now we have a time limit, but as you can see it's a very generous one. We get another secret transmission regarding a way to sneak aboard the behemoth and into Europa, Skyheat's capital. There's an old warp gate in the Europan barracks, but before we can all head through, we've got to get through one final Jak Daxter level.
Hey Dax, putting on some pounds.
This one's probably the most irritating because we need to keep picking up these enemies to proceed. Even so, the level is over in about 15 minutes, and Daxter makes his way through the portal before Kira closes it behind us. Europa is for all intents and purposes the final level in the challenge, as the last two are just plain missions. But this is still going to be one of the toughest levels in the game. For a start, we don't have access to the scattergun. There's a weapon jammer stopping us from using it, so we'll have to play pacifist for now. However, that doesn't last too long. We are required to defeat some of the Dark Eco soldiers for the door to open. This is kinda stretching the rules, but we can technically damage them with the Dark Eco crystal power. This deals next to no damage, so it's still difficult, but it's better than meleeing them. After a lot more platforming, we can destroy the gun blocker by having an enemy nearby shoot at it. This gives us back our scattergun, and from there it's business as usual. We reach the end of the level and the first of two bosses, that being this Dark Eco mutant. This is going to be a test of all our combat skills, but he can also use eco powers like speeding up his movement and creating his shields. Luckily, since we've gotten all the eco power upgrades, we can slow down time and then have enough eco power left over to put up a shield. By the time that time has been restored, our shield will still be up, allowing us to slow down time again. If you've timed this properly, the shield should now have run out, but seeing as time is slowed down again, you should have an opening to get another one up, and just repeat this while shooting at him. This boss can be pretty tough as we die in like 3 hits without the shield, but so long as you take your time and don't miss shots, you should be okay. This is our final chance to upgrade moves with Kira, so make sure you spend all your Dark Eco. We meet Skyheat and he absorbs mass amounts of Dark Eco, turning him into, that. This boss is overall less difficult than the Dark Eco mutant, but this fight will take a lot longer. Our scattergun does absolutely no damage to Skyheat. Our best bet is to get him to crash into the stone pillars and missiles, as that deals an insane amount of damage in comparison, but these will run out eventually. We also completely run out of ammo, so we will need to resort to the green eco crystals again. After, I kid you not, 15 minutes of this, he runs away to easily the worst plane mission in the game. We need to chase Skyheat to the eco core, and this mission isn't a mission, it's just one of those stay alive the whole time things. Despite the objective being to kill Skyheat, if you damage him too much he will simply stop taking damage, so that's nice. We follow Skyheat back to the eco core. This will be our last chance to put a stop to his plans, and we need to destroy the behemoth. And this is no different from the last two fights, and obviously being a play mission, this doesn't count in the challenge. With a sacrifice from Phoenix, the behemoth is destroyed, the eco core is restored, Jak teases at new games that'll never see the light of day, and the Jak and Daxter The Lost Frontier scattergun only challenge is complete. Thank you to all YouTube members, I appreciate every single one of you. A specific thank you to a guy named Joe, Alessio Herbatry, Algor, Deb, Benny Bays, Bento Baker Primordius, Bolt Spider, Bucky J, Casper, Chelsea Goo 2, Coco Jinx, Caller_Soup, Drooler Eagle, Friendly Neighborhood Lurker, Gubble Gubble, Invigil, iPod Num 3, Javascape, Camille Plays, Corey Kyle, Koja, Lightning open brackets, GD closing brackets, Max TV02, Memesus, Monkey Keith, Multibrad X, No One, Patrick Zebedin, Ryan Michaelborough, Shizoida, Senchu Mimiku, Shadow Dragon Fox, Unknown Soldier of the Lord, Vendergame012 on YTB, Very_good_Toppler, Worldcraft, YGoku69, Zapper Wolf, Jak_xxpitters98xx_, and thank you for watching the full video.